couple of weeks ago, Core Essentials reached out to me and was wondering if they could send me out a couple of their EDC belts to be able to try out. I've been really eyeballing those, wanting to order one anyway. So when they reached out, it was a definite yes for me. Disclaimer, they did send these out. There has been no money transition between either one of us, so I aim to give my full honest opinion. So let's dive into it. Let's go ahead and open it. And it's still in the box that they shipped it in. I haven't looked at it yet, so we're doing a complete unboxing of it. Okay, so they sent me out two separate belts. One of them is this leather belt, and they sent me out, this is their X3 buckle, but they also sent me out this nylon style belt that comes with their, or not, doesn't come with it, but I opted to get the X7 belt buckle, and I wanted this one, the nylon with the X7 buckle, more for like a slim profile for my regular everyday EDC belt. But I wanted the leather belt with the more traditional style belt buckle on it for like wearing it to church, stuff like that, to where it would look a little bit more professional. Let's see about getting all this set up. Okay, so on the inside of it, hopefully you can see that there's numbers in there that show you what it has the waist length going from 28 inches all the way to 44 inches. So with these numbers, you'll match up whatever your corresponding waist length is, or waist measurement is, circumference, I guess. Mine, I have a 31 or 32 inch waist. So since this is a belt, I'm going to upsize it, and I'm going to cut it at 34 inches to be on the safe side, just to make sure I have plenty of room. Get the handy dandy knife out, and we'll do it that way. That'll work better. Okay, so we got it cut with the knife, and now we're going to insert it into the buckle itself. That's what these, there's extra, looks like extra screws and an Allen key in with it. I didn't know what they were for at first. There's two screws in that buckle right there that you'll loosen up. Once you have the screws out, the belt, you can see it slide all the way to the inside. And so now you will put those screws back in. Okay, so we've got the screws back in there, and now we can take this little lever right here, and it basically clamps it down and keeps it in place. So they do it like that, to where if you want to take this belt buckle and put it on this leather belt, you can do that, or you can take this X3 buckle and put it on this nylon belt. You can use whatever belt you want. They're all interchangeable with each belt and each buckle. So let's try the actual ratcheting system. So these little slots right here, they have on the belt, to where when you put it in, you can hear that ratcheting in, to where, let's say you're standing up and you need, you got your gun on and you need your belt to be a little bit tighter around your waist, you can cinch it up. Or if you need it to be a little bit looser, let's say you're having dinner with your family, sit down, and now your gun in your belt are digging into your waist, you can take this little lever right here and push it to where now you can loosen up that, it's a little bit awkward to do it, but you can push it, and now you can loosen up that belt however you need it. And with the setup and everything, it'll go the exact same way for the nylon belt and the X7 buckle, and that goes across the board for all of their buckles. The setup's the exact same way. So I'm going to get this nylon belt and the X7 buckle put in real quick, and I'll be back with you. Okay, two things real quick. So one, whenever you're setting these up, after you insert the belt in, before you put in these two screws, you want to tighten down this lever first. Because if you don't, I had the problem of the lever not seating all the way, so I had to back out the screws to where the belt could move when it cinched down. But after that, it'll sit completely flat. You can tighten the screws down and you'll be on your way. And then second, I come from a line of people that we don't read the instructions before we start putting something together. So I added 2 inches to the belt when I cut. So my weight or my pant size is technically 32, but I cut it at 34. This says to add 4 inches, so I really should have cut it at 36 inches, not 34. However, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, and if it is, I'll let you know. I'll put it around my waist to where it basically goes over my other belt, and it still cinches down perfectly fine, enough to where I can get my gun in there whenever I go to carry. And one of the reasons I like this style of belt, or I've been wanting one, is because of the ratchets like I showed you earlier. I believe it's 54 slots that it will fit into. So actually, I want to count them real quick. This is going to be kind of dumb, but that's 1, 2. So that was 40 slots. So it'll fit, you can ratchet it up to 40 slots. And this leather belt went all the way up, waist measurement wise, to 44 inches. And then the nylon belt went all the way up to 54 inches. Okay, so now that we have these set up, I'm going to take probably a week with the nylon belt with the X7 buckle, and then 1 week with the leather belt with the X3 buckle. Try them both out, see how I like them, see how I like the belt style itself with the ratcheting system, because right now I am running the Warrior Poet and the Blue Alpha gear Velcro belt. This is the EDC belt. I've been running this for probably about 8 months now. I think it's been about 8 months. And I've loved the belt itself, minus one thing. The only thing I don't like, which I think these belts are going to be better at, is whenever I go to use the bathroom, especially when I have a gun on, I have to take this off, unthread it, do whatever I need to do, and then it's just a pain in the butt trying to loop this through, get it Velcroed back up to the right spot, and then when I need to, like, let's say I've got it cinched down while I've been walking around and everything, it's going to be a lot tighter than I need it versus when I'm sitting down. So if I'm going to sit down, I have to unvelcro this, which, as you can see, is pretty loud. It's going to draw attention, and I have to sit down and then tighten it back down to wherever I need it at that time. I think these are going to be a lot better because it can be a lot more discreet. So if I have it cinched down, let's say I have it right there, but then I go to sit down, let's say at a restaurant to eat, it's not going to be super noticeable if I just reach down, hit the button, loosen it up, a couple notches, and I'll be good to go. So I think that's one of the things that's going to stand out with me on that, and one of the things that's really caught my eye when I've been doing the research on it. So like I said before, I'm going to take a couple of weeks to try these out, and then I'll be back to y'all in the video. So let me get to it. Okay, y'all, we're back. I've been testing these Core Essential EDC belts out for about 2 or 3 weeks now, and I've been able to get some kind of starter feelings and thoughts on it to, kind of share with y'all a little bit. So starting out, we're going to go out with the pros and the cons, and I'm going to kind of tell you what I like about it. And, there's only one thing that I've found so far that I don't really not like about it, but I feel like it could be improved. I will say so far, pretty impressed with it. But let's start out with the pros. So one, it's extremely sturdy whenever you've got it on. I've got mine on right now. I've got the nylon EDC belt with the X7 buckle. That's the one that I chose to do for my, everyday concealed carry kind of belt. And then this one right here was the leather with the X3 buckle. And it's, been my church belt, going out to a restaurant or something like that. This will be the one that I'll wear. like I said, it's super sturdy and rigid. It's not very easy to kind of crunch down. And I will show you, I've got one of my just regular old leather belts right here. So you can see the difference between the two. I'm just holding them both at the same exact spot. And you can see how much droop, I'll call it droop, that this regular leather belt has versus this EDC belt by Core. And that's extremely important when, doing kind of EDC stuff, because you don't want a droopy belt that's going to kind of bend and basically start making your gun fall out when you're carrying it. And you can see how even just the belt loop has made it start to bend like that. And that normally happens with my regular old leather EDC belts. Moving on, as you can tell, these have extremely fine adjustments that you can get. So with a belt like this one right here, you can see, you've got 5 holes right here going probably every inch or so. There's sometimes you don't need that full inch of adjustment. You just need 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 an inch. So it's super easy to, let's say you're going to dinner with your family. You've got your belt sized appropriately for when you're walking around, so it's going to be a little bit tighter while you're walking around. But then you sit down and your gun just starts digging into your stomach. So you need to adjust it. So all you're going to do is take this little notch right here, push it out, and then you can adjust it very finely. So when you go to tighten it back down, you can hear those clicks. And then let's say you just need 1 or 2 adjustments. Boom, you're good to go. It's super easy to be able to adjust it on the fly, even with the one I have on now. All you got to do is take this little notch, if y'all can see it. I'm just going to push it out towards you, and then I can adjust it. Then when I go to tighten it back down, all I got to do is push it, and I'm good to go. The next kind of thing is still along with the adjustments, but it's the fact that they're so quiet to be able to adjust. So even if I do it over my shirt, I can take it, push that knob, and then just easily, and I just loosened it up. And then all I got to do is take it and adjust it, tighten it back down. And you can hear the clicks, but it's not super noticeable versus the belt that I used to wear, which is this Blue Alpha and Warrior Poet collab kind of EDC belt. That's extremely loud for when you're wearing it. You don't want people to know that you're wearing, you got your gun or anything. That's going to draw attention when you're going to, adjust it and stuff like that, especially when you go to the bathroom. It used to annoy the crap out of me when I would go to the bathroom, go to take this off. Basically everybody in the bathroom can hear it. Versus the one that I have on now, super quiet to be able to loosen up and to be able to tighten back down. And then this next thing is kind of an add-on, but I absolutely love it once I figured out like what it was and how it worked. So essentially, you're going to take the belt, and you can get this belt hanger. Like I said, it took me forever to figure out how the heck it even worked. However, it's easy to just take it. So you're going to take the little slot right here in the belt that you would normally put the actual belt through, and you're just going to take this and slide it in, and you'll hear the clicks. You can either do 1 click, 2 click, or 3, but it'll hang on right there, and you can just hang it up on your, in your closet or wherever. That way, whenever you need it again, all you got to do is press it, release it, and you've got it to be able to put on. I absolutely love that and highly recommend it to anybody if you're going to order one of these belts. Now, moving on to the cons, I will say there's one con, like I said earlier, that I have found that it's not necessarily bad. I just feel like it could be better. So with this notch right here, you pull it out and it basically acts like a little lever to be able to get that little piece to go into the notches. or to come out of the notches. I feel like it would be a little bit easier because I find it hard sometimes to be able to find that lever and to be able to get it pushed out the way I need it to be. I feel like it would be a little bit better if it was more of a push down, to where instead of pulling out, you push it down to be able to unclench that. That way it's a little bit easier, and all you got to do is push it down, pull it, instead of having to pull it out. It's just me being nitpicky. I'm doing the reviews on the belts. I want to be able to find, anything that I don't like, just because I want to be completely honest with y'all. But moving on to the final kind of consensus, I absolutely love these belts. I kind of figured I was going to before I even started doing the review, just because I've been eyeballing these belts for a very long time, wanting to order one, but I just haven't. So when they, offered to send a couple of them out to me to test and review, I jumped on top of it. I was absolutely stoked about it. Like I said, I would highly recommend these belts to anyone that wants it. If you're a person that EDCs a gun, or you just want a belt that's super sturdy and, super comfortable, easy to adjust, anything like that, these Core Essential EDC belts are absolutely awesome for that. So if you do want one of these belts and you want to order one, use the code BIA10, that's Bravo India Alpha 10, to be able to get 10% off of the entire store whenever you visit them. I really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoyed testing these out through church, the range, just out and about and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all in the next video. I love you. God loves you. Y'all have a blessed rest of y'all's day.